TEMA is widely known for its industrial activities. I bet many of us do not know the tourism aspect of it. Well, today I'm joined with the civil society representative and coordinator who specializes in field trips and tourism activities here in TEMA Metropolitan Assembly, Mr. Bob T. Amiteye.
Yes.
So please, can you tell us more about what you do as a civil society representative?
Okay, so basically it means I coordinate the activities of the members of the coalition of NGOs in TEMA. Okay, yes, so basically that's what it is, yes. So I am their focal person at TEMA Metropolitan Assembly. Yes, so we work in different thematic areas. Some are doing health, some are doing gender, some are doing environment, climate change, and all of skills training and all of that. Okay, yeah, so I'm their focal person at the assembly.
Okay, that's nice. We also heard that you also specialize in tourism activities here in TEMA. If not for you, I wouldn't know there are other ventures to venture into when it comes to tourism here in TEMA. We mostly look at the Cape Coast, the Eastern region, the Jamestown, but when it comes to TEMA, we only think about its industrial activities that happens here. So can you tell us more about it?
Okay, thank you. So you've heard Ghana Center of the World. Ghana Center of the World rests on TEMA's unique geographical location.
Right.
Okay, so it's interesting that we talk about tourism in Ghana and then TEMA is not even in the picture.
That's a big issue.
Yes, so TEMA, as you mentioned earlier, is known for its industrial nature.
Yeah.
It is a residential area. It's a port city with a fishing community. Okay. Now all these things that I have mentioned, okay, gives you a lot or affords you a lot of tourism features. Okay, so if we talk about TEMA Center of the World, people usually would say that, oh, the center of the world is just because the Greenwich Meridian runs through TEMA. It goes way beyond that. The Greenwich Meridian runs through quite a number of countries. But what makes us unique is our proximity on the Greenwich Meridian to the point where it intersects with the equator in international waters. So TEMA is the the closest human habitable city along the meridian to the point where it intersects with the equator. So we say longitude 0 degree, latitude 0 degrees. So when they meet 0, 0, it's null. So we have something we call the null island.
All right.
Okay, so that is in international waters. Okay, yes. So TEMA, by way of its proximity, is said to be the city at the center of the world. Yes, we have the port. People do not even know that the port is even one of the attractions that, one can, take advantage of. So we organize field trips for learners, facilitators, to go to the port to see. Yes, I'm sure you mentioned earlier about the Logos Hope ship, but there are so many other big vessels of international interest that we can take advantage of. So for example, we have the world's biggest university ship, Semester at Sea, which will come to our TEMA port. It should be coordinated properly so that learners and other people can also, advance these things. So what is lacking, I believe, is the tourism development plan for the metropolis, and this should be something that should be done nationwide. So every district must have a tourism development plan. Okay, and then just as we meet quarterly at the assembly, then every quarter there should be a presentation or the achievement that we have been able to do at the district level in terms of tourism. Yes, so that should be. But apart from that, we also do what we call party on the train. Okay.
Party on the train.
Yes, party on the train.
It's so new to me, and it marvels me because I'm also a resident of TEMA, and these things happen and we don't have any idea.
Yes, so party on the train affords people, not just learners, because we've had the opportunity of taking parents, facilitators, and then the school children as well, on a field trip. Now, what makes it interesting is that yes, you can experience the train in Takoradi, you can experience the train in Tema. They are all port cities, you understand. But what makes even ours unique is that whilst on board the train, you'll be crossing the Greenwich Meridian.
Yeah.
Okay, so you then happen to be in between the eastern and then the western hemispheres of the earth. Okay, and you can experience that in Tema. Okay, with the closest location. So that means that in Tema we have the closest rail line or railway line, okay, where the meridian crosses before it intersects the equator. That's also another big thing that we can advance. We did it, I mean, just on the 19th with about 200 learners and some facilitators to experience the Greenwich Meridian whilst on board the train. So party on the train is just one of the exciting things that you can experience in there.
So you've mentioned a few tourism activities that can be experienced here in Tema, but my problem is giving it visibility, because for many of us living here, we do not have any idea. So do you think there's a room or a need for improvement when it comes to advertising or letting people know about what goes on here in Tema?
Fantastic. So one of such interest is what we are doing now.
Yes.
Okay, so we need to have the content, develop the content properly, and then be able to push it out there in the media. Today, you know, social media is just one of the, and traditional media as well. Okay, so we need to have a proper development plan, and then make sure that we push it out there to catch the attention and interest of even business people as well.
To sponsor.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes, that alone is also an avenue to get people to develop other interests within the metropolis or the city at the center of the world.
Mr. Bo, based on organizing the field trips for the students and other people, do you think there's anything challengeable that you faced, any challenges you faced when you're organizing the field trips? Is there any kind of hindrance in terms of, let's say, you organizing for the port? Is there any time where they restrict you because it's an industrial area, so they do not have time for tourism or stuff like that? Okay,
so I had an experience, but let me say this just before that one. Now, the port of Tema itself, okay, encourages people to visit there. You don't pay anything. That's interesting. Yes, you don't pay anything. So if I take learners on a field trip to the port, they don't pay anything. That's like the, you know, an arrangement the port has had for the community. So once you have your date and then you write to them and they okay it, then you can take them to the, so I rather think that it's more of an opportunity they have afforded community people to know that they can take advantage, come to the port. There's a part there, so you go to the port and then they walk you through all the systems, you get to see all the interesting things there. But there's this bit that we call it the harbor view. It's not developed in Tema, but it is in Takoradi.
Oh.
Okay, so Takoradi has Harbour View. It's an open recreational center where you can go and sit and have a very nice, pristine view of the Atlantic Ocean, see the ships and all of that. The train moves in and, you know, okay, so Tema hasn't developed its own.
But is it in the pipeline? Because it would be nice to...
So that's what I'm saying. So the point here is that we need to have the plan to develop these things to catch the attention of people. Okay, so we could probably have had this evening interview at the Harbour View, and then you see, you have an overview scenery of the port, the Atlantic Ocean, the ship, the types of ship, the two different ports we have, and its own history. A lot of things, you know, runs around the history of them. Like we used to have a beach called Acro Beach. So Acro Beach, yes, that is extended to where we have the Meridian Port Services, MPS. So you hear MPS, it is because Meridian Port, because it is much aligned to the Greenwich Meridian.
Oh, never knew.
Yes, exactly. Okay, yeah. So around Meridian Port Services, we had Ave Maria, okay, and then we had the Acro Beach there. You pronounce it Akro Beach, but the name comes from the engineer who built the port of Tema.
Wow.
Okay, Sir William Halcrow, and so we called it Akro, but the name is Sir William Halcrow.
Oh,
Yes, so that's what we were there. Let's go to Akro Beach. Akro Beach. So that's just a bit for you. And then we also had the Meridian Rock. So the Meridian Rock also has its traditional history. Yes, okay, but it's because of the port expansion, it has been removed or salvaged from the. So we can build something around that one for attention and attraction purposes. You understand?
So
Yes,
Mr. Bob,
this one.
In terms of development, you said we should have a plan, we should have a plan. Who should have that plan? Because if I have the plan, I wouldn't be able to execute it. Do you know the people in power, let me say, people in power who can make this happen? Because I feel TEMA can be more beneficial, more profitable when it comes to tourism. So is there any avenue where we can seek funds to make these plans come to life? Or
So first, the assembly, the district assembly has to take it up. The Ghana Tourism Authority, they have the Tema region here at Comte 10.
oh, okay.
Yes, interestingly, I work with these two parties.
Then it's easy for you to propose.
Yes,
right?
yes. So, but that's what. So there must be a bigger plan, and then interest. And so, which is what we are pushing. We are pushing for. Yes. So that affords other people. You talk about the investment. Is when people don't know that, oh, I can invest in this aspect of tourism.
Tourism.
You understand? But through discussions like this, you know, it opens up opportunities for people to want to consider potential businesses in terms of promoting tourism or advancing tourism.
Right.
Yes.
So we normally talk about tourism. We want people in higher power to invest. How do you see the maintenance culture for Ghanaians when it comes to tourism?
Yes, that is abysmal. It is abysmal, but why is it the case? I don't know. Is it the person in charge, or is just the system? But there somebody must be responsible. You understand?
But do you think it's a Ghanaian trait?
I don't want to say that it's a Ghanaian trait. There are other people who have made stuff like there's one Mahama guy, you know, who has done a lot in terms of tourism. But he doesn't leave things to rot.
And he's maintaining?
Yes, he's maintaining and building on. He's improving all the time. It just so happens that he's not in Tema, but yeah. So individuals are doing so. I don't know if you put it under government, but you know, people kind of say that we are buying man with man, and then why do you have to worry yourself, and then all of that. But I must also say that the immediate past mayor, Honorable Yohane Ashite, okay, was very instrumental. So the mayor had interest in advancing tourism. And so around that time we did quite a number of things. It's the first time I even we had a mayor to trail the meridian with school children.
Wow.
You understand? So we used a device, the compass, because we talk about the meridian. What is it? You cannot see with your eye, but you can use a device to trail, and then you see that, oh, this is the longitude 0 that we're talking about. So that was fantastic. Yes, and other things that unfortunately, I mean, he left, and then a new one. We now have the mayor. You see, he's gone, and then we have the first female mayor at the center of the world, and she promises to do quite a lot for tourism. So I have no doubt that we are going to build on what Honorable Yohane did, and so I'm sure moving on it will be beautiful. Yes, it's going to be great, and you coming in as well. So we have to project it. So
thank God for
it's
that.
nice meeting you.
Nice to see you as well. If somebody, because I know that you organize field trips for students. If a private organization wants to tour Tema, as we've highlighted some areas where they can explore, and they want you to do it for they want you to be the coordinator, will you be in for it, or you are just for the public schools and the government institutions?
Okay, so it is open to the public. I said earlier, for example, if you take party on the train, we've had learners, we have had parents, and we have had facilitators. I have been contacted by a group of women who also want to experience the party on the train. But this time around, they'll be moving from Tema, the port of Tema, to Adome, Japan, thereabout. And so the trip is from Tema, you experience the meridian along all the way to Japan. Okay, and then you cross the Volta Lake. It's an interesting, at a point in time, you know, when the train stops, you feel like the train is still moving. And it's the longest suspension, you know, bridge that we have so far, where the train, you know, moves along. It's just a nice experience from the port of Tema.
So that's the party in the...
Party on the train.
Party on the train.
Yes.
So, Mr. Bob, if somebody is watching and they are interested in the party in the train, are the dates set? Is everything set for the person to inquire more?
Yes, so it is open. Everybody can, link up, find out the time frames. You suggest your time frame. We work out with the train company, and then we determine which date best fits, and then there we go.
So it's not like one day set something.
No, so the party on the train.
It runs whenever a group of people
are ready. Yes, so we certainly must settle on the dates, and then we book it with the train company.
So these are some of the things that need highlights when it comes to publishing, advertising on social media.
Yes.
So now, if somebody is interested in the party in the train, how do they contact you?
So that's a challenge. Now we have to look for. So if we had like the Tourism Information Center for Tema, then people can easily go walk in there. What is it? What do we have? You know, and then you have a whole lot of things. For example, from here to the Gulf, we have the only golf course with that the meridian runs through it. So we call the center of the world golf course. Center of the. So you move from here to that place, very short. The train that we talked about. Okay, we have the locomotive. And then we have the new one as well. So just imagine that you are in the one school child asked me that, Uncle Bob, isn't the train coming? And I asked, where? Coming where? And then said, to our school. So you can just imagine, she has no idea that the train has its own rail line system. And it can come to the school. You understand? So, but we do for the schools because the idea is to communicate or have a sustainable tourism development plan through education. You understand? So some of the things that I know, I communicate it to the learners so that it can be sustainable. They also will build upon it over years to come and all of that. So we probably have to get an information center. That is the first point. As for the content, quite a lot, you understand. We can even fly zero. So fly zero also means that experiencing the Greenwich Meridian, this time on a plane.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Those are nice suggestions.
Yes, exactly. And then you know that Tema, so quite a number of the schools have parks. Now, these parks were not just for fun. So in the mind of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, and then promoting sports, you understand, we made sure that all the schools had some kind of sporting facilities. It was also part of the reason why at a point in time you had the national team and then under 17, most of the players coming from Tema because of the facilities that we had. No other place in Tema could boast of those things, you understand. But like you mentioned, we left these things to run out. And then under the instrumentation of Honorable Kofi Brackung, also the former MP, he developed the parks, and then so we are very optimistic that in the near future Tema will rise again, and then we'll be having more football stars. So all these things are linked to, tourism, sports tourism, you understand. For example, just across here we have where Robert Mensah was stabbed. Okay, we haven't developed any link to that, but that's also an opportunity to develop something and tell the story around, violence and then alcoholism in line with football. You understand? Yes. So all these things are things that you can develop in the The fishing harbor is also one of the places that you can think about. And then we have the European fish market. That is where you see very expensive
I've not heard
type
of it.
of fish, you know, where the Europeans, it also has its own history. We have it there. We have the naval base, the Eastern Naval Command.
Yeah.
That's also another point of attraction. And then we have the lighthouse. The children don't know what the lighthouse is. You want to talk about that of Jamestown, but Tema
that's
has
what
one.
came to mind.
Exactly, Tema
That's
has.
what came to mind.
Yes, Tema has one here.
Oh, okay.
You understand? So it depends on what we have. Industrial tourism. The big companies. You can go to Valco. You can go to Unilever. You can go to cocoa processing. And why Tema identifies with cocoa? Also very significant, because this is where we had our very first chocolate company, the Golden Tree, which has also won international awards and all of that, and it's known for its quality as well. So people can also tour the facility. You see the silos that were built even though they never got used, but it will tell you the thinking of the type of architecture that was going on around that time. All these things are very interesting things that and then we have a chocolate museum in there.
Chocolate museum in Tema.
Yes, no one knows about it. We don't talk about it. Yes.
Wow.
So with the development plan, we get to know about all these things, you know. Yeah. Around the industrial enclave, was also like the way we used to have the textile manufacturing companies, Ghana Textile Manufacturing Company. Now all these things run down, you understand. But sometimes when we talk about tourism, it doesn't necessarily has to be or have to be something. No, like some a plush something that and all of that. No, the beauty of Tema's own is that they are in its natural form. You understand? Then you can think about keeping it. Yes, either maintaining, leaving it in that form, or advancing it, developing it, adding one or two things like the Nkrumah Park, Kwame Nkrumah Park. You understand? There's a plan for it. We've done everything. In the implementation is the challenge. You understand?
The challenge.
Yes. And if we talk about Meridian Hotel, the Meridian Hotel, very significant. You see, so Meridian Hotel has its own story, and you can attribute it to a book called Juju in My Life.
Juju in My Life.
Yes.
Hey.
So the writer happens to be an investigator.
Oh, okay.
Okay, who worked under the colonial government and also happened to work under Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. And now the story of Kwame Nkrumah moving the natives of Tema to Tema New Town. Okay, yeah, so it has everything to do, it surrounds the story of the Meridian Hotel. But don't forget, just before we forget, the Meridian Hotel, because it is also much aligned to the Greenwich Meridian, very strategic location. Now, if you drive on the road to the Tema Sports Stadium, the Tema Stadium, on that road, or from the TDC road, now right on that road, you would see the highly elevated Meridian Hotel. It's a beautiful scenery. Now, if you take from the western side, you see Meridian Hotel. If you take from the eastern side, you see Meridian Hotel. It tells you how unique the location was determined by the people who built it that time. And over a period of time, if you came to Ghana and never visited Meridian Hotel, let's just say Wamba, Temakra. So and then it had a unique facility or a place for the president then, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. So floor 5 had the presidential floor where Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Tema also has underground tunnels that we do not know. You know those tunnels, for example, you heard some time ago, Gaddafi has tunnels in there for security purposes. And these are things that we don't talk about. You know, if you know the Damascus Road very well.
Yeah, I do.
Yes, you see on the median, on top of you see something like a roof. You know, on that lane in there, it's all underground. It's a tunnel. It is interconnected. So you can have story. You can hear stories like, oh, it was for a safe zone for the movement and security with for Dr. Kwame Nkrumah.
So, Mr. Bob, from your shirt, I see that voyage to the center of the world. When you talk about voyage to the center of the world, can you explain further for us, please? Okay,
so that is one of the tourism features that Tema affords.
Oh, all right.
Okay, so it means that people can come to Tema and then board the ship and then move along the Greenwich Meridian all the way to the point where it intersects with the equator.
Directly.
Yes, exactly. So you'll be experiencing a confluence, longitude 0, latitude 0 intersection, and that is the actual geographical center.
Is it already planned for, or is it?
Okay, so 2024, we embarked on the first trip to the center of the world. So that's the first time that civilians, got on board the naval ship. We used the naval ship, GNS, Cobra, and then Volta. And then we had journalists on board as well. So through my instrumentation and then working with the Ghana Tourism Authority, we wrote to the Flag Officer Commandant of the Eastern Naval Command, that we were considering a trip to the center of the world, but because we do not have the money, so what can we do by way of using the Navy ship? And if we know the cost implications, then we can have a strategic plan and market it so that people can sign up, and then
this is why we need you on social media.
Exactly.
So then when everything falls in place, we'll be the first to know. Yes,
sure. So interestingly, that worked quite well. And then in that, so it worked quite. He asked us to come up with a time frame, and then suggested that the Navy itself have a system where they do patrol in between times, so they could use that moment to do a trial for us to see, and then it happened. Yes, unfortunately, even though I did not go, the tourism man and then his team went. That also came. I remember you mentioned if I had challenges. Yes, and all of that, and that was one of the challenges that I had. Coming up with a very nice idea like that, and then I was left out. For what reason, I didn't know. So this is what I did. Now, when I got to know that I've been left out, I decided to sit back and say that no, then it's not worth. This is why sometimes people protect their ideas. You understand? Exactly. But for what reason, I did not know. But there is one big man that I cannot forget for everything that I have done in line with the Meridian and TEMA tourism and all of that. The exposure you've given. Exactly. Because he afforded me the opportunity to even bring students to the naval base to come and learn. Wow. You understand? The center of the world dynamics and then all of that, how to do it and all of that. So that is former FOC EA Kwafu. You understand? He gave me all the necessary tools and training that we needed. We had a very good working relationship. So sometimes leadership matters. You understand? Having someone of his kind, FOC Kwafu, was very instrumental in all the research and the things that we have been able to establish. So that very day, I asked the Naval Command that I want to come with learners, students, and some few teachers to come and even observe what they call the flagging off ceremony. So the Navy will perform a parade march and all of that before they will sail. Yes, so, and they told me that, no, that is a security zone, you cannot, you don't have any. I said, wow. So I had to reach the former FOC because there's a new person there. And they tell me that, no, the commanders told me that it's not possible. And then I told him and said that this is an opportunity for us, to advance tourism. But let's start with the learners, the school children. So I want to take quite a number of them to the place if acceptable. And then he says that it should be possible. Bob, no, this should be possible. So he got me a contact, and then the PRO, I should say a very big thank you to him at the national level, at our headquarters. And then he gave me the contact to call him, and that I should bring the learners to the place there. So I quickly rushed and mobilized a few, and then we went to the port. We got the security issues. We got a pass. We went there, and then experienced the flagging of ceremony. And then interestingly, that was when I even saw the semester at sea, the world's biggest university ship, and we had two students on board the ship who were Ghanaians. You understand? So that's just a university but on a float, so moving all around there. And when it comes to TEMA I think almost twice in a year or once in a year.
I think we should leverage
exactly,
that.
Exactly.
And then we need you on social media.
Yes, exactly. So we did that. So people matter. People at various positions, authorities matter. They do play a role. But because I nearly gave up, but for FOC Kwafo, you understand? He said that, no, Bob, no, that should strengthen. See that as an opportunity to advance. And then he encouraged me, and then we did it. We met the former American ambassador there. I saw her, and then she had just moved into a car. It was speeding up. I started running. Stop. They were wondering, that's a security zone.
Yeah.
Somehow, somewhere, I don't know, they got the signal and then they stopped. And then I went to her. I said, hello, I greeted her. Oh, I'm happy to see you. I came with some learners here. They would love to have a word from you if you don't mind.
Nice.
Please. She got off the car and then walked to us.
The ambassador?
Yes, the ambassador walked to us, engaged the children, told them that it was about 14 years. She was in senior high school when she first visited Ghana. Little did she know that she would become ambassador, to Ghana from the United States. Had an engagement with had group pictures and all of that. We also, at that same time, we had the U.S. warship supplier, also the African U.S. command, the ship, yes. And then they escorted, so they moved in convoy somehow with the two Navy ships, to the center of the world. And that was also another interest. And I went to the crew and then told them that, I've got some learners here, they would love to, have pictures with the crew of the warship and all of that. That was a lucky day for you. And I said that, so I could call the children. They said, no, we would walk there. And the crew went there. So I have pictures of all these moments, you understand. So these are very interesting things and so at the ports quite a number of things happen, but we need to coordinate these things and then make sure that the public can have the opportunity to experience this.
That's where the assembly comes in.
That's where the assembly comes in.
You work there.
Exactly. So you are doing a very good job by way of media projections. You are encouraged to do more, because without you, then people wouldn't even get to know all these things that we are talking about. So
from what you're saying, does it mean that you being exempted from the voyage to the center of the world, does it mean that we don't get to see other ones? Or is it something you still want to pursue, even though you were exempted?
Well, so another interesting bit, just some few days ago, I think about 3 days ago, I had a call, that Ghana at 70 is going to be big, and they want us to do the center of the world, a trip to the voyage to the center of the world, big time, Ghana at 70. And so they are counting on me to, share my thoughts and bring all the necessary input so that we can get it through. And I think it's a nice opportunity. So he's asked me to see if I can arrange a meeting with the Navy. But I'll talk again to the Ghana Tourism Authority, because when stakeholders meet, you understand, and then to have a front for this kind of thing, it works much better. You understand.
And then when the media also.
Exactly. The media is like the mitochondrion of the whole thing. It is the briefing point. When you are taken out of the equation, then everything stays. Yes, everything stays.
So I hope you include us in your
exactly. Sure.
Yeah.
So that will be a very nice opportunity.
All right. So I've seen some books here. Initially, I asked you, and you said you do not sell them. But is it something you're considering to make these ones talk about the tourism activities here? Because some people would as much want to know about TEMA. Maybe due to distance, they wouldn't be able to come. So it's being in a book will be something very portable, where they can still know about TEMA, but in a book form.
Yes, sure. So the idea of documenting these things is the gap that I identified. You see, there are stories that are untold. You understand? Even the one about how TEMA got its name. You understand? We need to have a documentation or documentary.
Since you brought it up, can you tell us?
Okay. So the story runs this way. The natives of TEMA, were fisher folks.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Some were farmers, some were hunters. Now, if you have watched this movie before, Apocalypse or something, Apocalypto or something like that, you realize that you would have some people have the bottle gourd tied at their waistline. Now it's like the calabash plant, the gourd plant. You have different types. Okay, so around that time, some of the farmers, cultivated the bottle gourd. It was well known in that area where the indigents settled. You understand? Until in Kofo back, when people come to the town and they say they want to buy the calabash or the type that looks like the bottle.
Yeah.
So today it is your water bottle is that of the bottle gourd.
Bottle gourd.
Yes, bottle gourd. It's just like the gourd, the calabash type, but that one you see it with a tall. Yeah, exactly. So they use it to store water and all of that. So people would say that I am going to Torman. So the Torman is a gun. It's gun. So like bottle, ma town. So bottle town, a town known for the cultivation of bottle gourd.
Wow.
So let's go there and buy. But this one is hard to hear. This one. So, but I'm telling you. So keep it.
I'm so shocked.
So this is the story. Now, because the people cultivated this and it was a business for them, others got to know that if we go and then buy these things, okay, it contains the seeds. You understand?
Yeah.
So when we buy it and we take it to our town, let's remove the seeds and then what? Plant. Now, this is what we call business intelligence or protecting your ideas. So when they got to know about this, in their mind, okay, when people come and then buy the bottle, the seeds that you find in there are not the very ones. No, they have taken the seeds out and boiled it, and then they will put it back. Yes, and then they will put it back in there. So if you come and buy and then you think that you are going to take the seeds and plant and grow, so that over time they will lose their exactly. So that's the secret, the trade secret that they have.
So then over time it evolved to TEMA.
Exactly.
Torman.
Torman. So
Thank you so much.
That's it. And then we have traditional gates. Traditional gates. There's something similar that I much aligned with to that of UK or in England. So we have the city of London. In the city called London. There is city of and within.
Here in TEMA?
No, in London.
In London.
Yes, there is the city within that city. The city of London is within the city of London.
Whoa.
Okay, so in TEMA, we have traditional gates. You understand? You can use the Eastern Corridor, Western Corridor, and all of that. But the traditional gates are deities.
Deities?
Yes, deities. So if you go to the various places in Torman, for example, every deity has its name, every deity has a name, and they represent a particular group of people in there. You see, and these are things that we need to document them. They have a lot. How many people, if you ask a school child today, did you know that some time ago, there were hunters, people who lived were hunters, were farmers, and all of that? They do not know.
No,
you understand? We have architectural tourism. Okay, which we don't talk about it. That's also another interesting. It tells you the kind of thinking the people, the architects of those days had in mind. You can go to Commit One and then you can look at a building and then you can say that the person who designed this, did the person have a mind of the knowledge of climate change happening someday?
Even the
how
layouts.
They built it and the layout and all that. Today we put up buildings and then you hear that it will crash. You understand where it is placed. You understand town planning council people, and all these things. But you realize that people of old did fantastic things in India. All these things can be remodeled and then, put into something worth, gaining in the people's mind for attraction. You understand? So we can't finish the TEMA story today
at all.
Exactly. And
But
then before we talk about their water bodies and then all of that, and then the Meridian Rock and its, cultural antecedent, significance, Even we had Professor Hindu. I like to talk about Professor Hindu, even though he's not from TEMA. He's visited a number of places, but we can build something around Professor Hindu. He's the only known African or only known person in the world who have killed over 500 people. Okay, and then gotten them back. You can raise them back to life. Because I was a child in Takrady when I saw him with a human head on a plate. Okay.
Then you raise them back to life?
Yes, you raise them back to life after some days, if you sometimes 3 days or yes.
With
but it's only one person. Yes, with the head cut off. It's only one person that he killed in Takrady. I think yes, that was in Takrady. That the person didn't, so they couldn't be brought back to life, and then he was taken to court for that. And then he won the case. He proved why the person didn't wake up, and then he did another killing, and then brought the person back to life. Professor Hindu is around, but why I am saying this is that Tema happens to be one of the places that he came, and this is a very powerful, unique person, you know, that you can get in there. Let's take the footprint of Professor Hindu on the meridian, and then build a statue there, create the story, and people, it will be there forever. We don't have to wait for Professor Hindu to pass before and all of that. We can. So there are other icons that we can, you know, build stories and create content around them. Yeah. You understand? Yes.
All right, Mr. Bob, thank you so much for your time. You've been more than educative for us. I've learned so much. I didn't know TEMA was Torman, but then now I know, and I know it's because of the bottles they sold. Thank you so much. I don't know what you to go without giving us your contact, because based on the activities you've mentioned, I'm sure people watching would be interested in experiencing it as well. So please give us a medium to reach you, or if you can promise us that you would open a social media account, we'll be also glad to hear that. But for now, since you do not have, kindly give us your contacts.
02444 22846. So you can reach me on the line. Schools, corporate organizations, it's okay. You can always reach out.
I guess we filled you in very well on what TEMA stands for. Now you know it wasn't TEMA, it was Torman, due to the bottles that were sold here. And then now you know that you can experience TEMA aside industrial activities. There are still tourism activities as well. My dress is from Otuwa Sews, my jewelry from AJ Jewelry and More, and my hair from Extension Zone GH. My name is Wilma, and I've been your host for the day. This is TEMA We Dey. See you on the next one.